Hey guys, I'm Marco Nieves.
And I'm Anthony Beaubrun.
I'm George Saunders, and today we have an exciting episode for you Apple Watch fans.
That's right. We're going to be counting down the 5 biggest reasons the Apple Watch could change mobile forever.
You don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
You're watching Obsessively Geek. We obsess so you don't have to.
Today we're going to talk about the Apple Watch and all the reasons we think it could change mobile forever. The Apple Watch is a really exciting new product from Apple. They're jumping into a new category, and like Apple tends to do, it looks like the features of the Apple Watch can actually change the way this category works.
There's been a lot of smartwatches released up to this point to a limited audience. There's the Pebble watches, there's the Martian watches, and all the Android Wear stuff. But they've all had sort of a niche audience.
Things like the Pebble have had a limited scope in terms of what they can do, and that naturally happens when you're platform agnostic. You have to work on all sorts of platforms, so you kind of have to, by necessity, have a limited scope. Android Wear has a lot more features, but it still hasn't gained mass market acceptance. The Apple Watch looks like it could be the one to do that. There's a lot of excitement on all the features. It's been in fashion magazines all over the world. And yeah, it looks like it can be an early hit.
Definitely, and a lot of it has to do with the ease of use. I mean, the features. I mean, remember, Marco, when you went to Disney? Remember that?
I remember that.
I remember that. Last year, and then you wish that pretty much all the wearable tech was like the magic bands, right? Right.
Yeah, this looks like it could be that. I mean, the magic bands were awesome at Disney. I used them as my room key. I could pay for stuff with it. I could check into the parks with it. It was pretty much my magic ticket to everything Disney. And the fact that the Apple Watch could do that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Gives me the warm and fuzzies.
Warm and fuzzies. We like warm and fuzzies here.
The warm and fuzzies are awesome. So let's just get down to the countdown, shall we?
Sure. Cool.
Number 4.
Number 5. Reason number 5, not number 4. The Apple Watch could change mobile forever because of privacy. Unlike other so-called smartwatches, the Apple Watch doesn't vibrate for every frickin' notification. I mean, I had a Martian watch, and every time I got the smallest notification, everyone in the office knew that I got a notification because it was just so damn loud. The Apple Watch just, hey.
So it has some sort of like a mechanism inside that allows it to...
Well, it's still a vibration motor, but it feels like it's tapping you on the wrist. So even if I'm all up on George like this, he won't know because...
I think George will know if you're all up on him like that.
Yeah, it's called taptic technology.
That's what they call it.
Yeah,
what really is taptic? So what do you think about that? Both of you.
I think it's cool. I mean, because you don't want everyone up in your information, all up in your business, when they see your watch vibrating. Also, for people who live in a city like us, we don't want people knowing that we do have this expensive piece of hardware on our wrist. So that's what the vibration will definitely give away. I'm all about the security as well as privacy.
Yeah.
Well, let's examine that now. You said now, as far as the privacy portion of it, but then again, people will see you whipping out your Apple Watch and going through it. So,
well,
really,
I mean,
how is that?
That goes as far as let's say if you're on the train and you don't want to look at your watch. I mean, no one's going to know it's even notifying you. So
only you'll know.
You can choose to check it out or not whenever you want. So if I'm on the train and it's tapping me, cool, no one else knows it's tapping me, I'm going to ignore it for a while until I can get into a more secure area.
Okay.
And not only that, but you can actually choose which notifications you'll get. So if it's not important to you, you just turn that notification off and you'll never get it again.
So basically, essentially just, the same functions that you have on the phone, you'll have on the watch, but just now more easily accessible. And then
more easily accessible to you and still private when you want it.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds great. Great.
Okay, let's go into number 4. You will use your phone less. And I'm talking about a lot less. And perhaps it may not even come out your pocket. So, in my opinion, I think that's great for battery consumption alone. You know, because I'm always looking at my phone, the screen is constantly turning on, the brightness and all that stuff. My phone's always searching for a signal sometimes, and that kills the battery pretty damn, you know, fast.
Yeah.
So I just like the fact that I'm not going to have to take out my phone so frequently.
Yeah, I mean, as happens with me a lot, my wife tends to send me like 52-word messages instead of... So it'll be nice to just, you know, quickly look at my watch and decide to respond or not instead of having to pull my phone out. This will free me to just quickly, you know, answer stuff and go back to what I'm doing instead of pulling out my phone, coming away from whatever I'm doing and having to re-engage later. You know, it's quick and easy, and that'll leave my phone in my pocket for longer, which is cool because it'll save a little bit of battery, and it'll free me to be able to use my phone for bigger things, like if I'm searching the web or something. I definitely don't want to do that on my watch.
Right.
Tiny screen.
Another thing to consider too is a professional aspect of it. Let's say if you're in a meeting, a business meeting, or if you're whatever you're doing, and where like taking out a phone may seem very unprofessional, and it may even seem disrespectful. So, you know, just slightly looking at your watch will give off a more professional vibe as well. So
Yeah, because
that's
it
what I'm
just
looking for.
simply looks like you're just checking the time rather than responding to a message and what have you.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
That's true. All right, so reason number 3, Siri. The Apple Watch will get people more used to speaking with AI assistants like Siri. And in turn, it's going to drive those voice-driven interfaces forward into the next level, perhaps making them more ubiquitous all around. I would love to have a voice assistant on my computer. I want to be Tony Stark. I want Jarvis. I want to talk to all of my gadgets.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've never really liked using Siri. You know, I never felt secure talking to a device or an AI. It just never really caught my attention. So being that I can actually have it on my wrist now, it's going to force me to utilize that kind of accessibility more.
And when you say force, you shouldn't look at it that way. I mean, it's a leap forward in the technology, and just like, again, going back to the ease of use, you know, and now it allows you to free up many different aspects of the utilization of the watch. In the sense where now you're not, you know, locked into something. The watch itself can perform a lot of different functions and streamline pretty much your lifestyle.
And one of the things that annoys me about Siri, I mean, I love Siri and I've loved Google now when I used it, but Apple's kind of let it languish and it hasn't gained, you know, any more features. It hasn't gotten better in a while.
I agree.
If more people are using it, this will kind of force them to move it forward and improve upon it.
Right, yeah. Siri does lack some functions that I personally would have liked. I think at one point we discussed, you know, the ability to use Siri without the internet source.
Yeah.
You know, but as you explained before, what was that explanation before, Marco? Go for it.
Well, the voice parsing engine is
It's
that
pretty bloody
huge.
voice parsing engine.
It's pretty huge, and it will take up a lot of space on your phone, which is why they usually leave it in the cloud.
Well, hopefully these days the Apple will upgrade to terabytes and whatnot, and then we can, you know, pretty much house your entire life on the phone, which we pretty much do already.
So in the end, the Apple Watch isn't just pushing mobile forward; it's pushing computing forward.
Well,
all of computing.
Well, Apple has been an innovator for this technology for quite some time, spearheading a lot of different things. So, yeah, I could see that. So now let's get into reason number 2, okay, which would be the authentication. Unlike your Bluetooth trusted devices, if someone steals your watch and your iPhone, they won't be able to gain access to any of your information. Apple Watch will deauthorize itself upon the break from your skin.
Yeah,
which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
the contact of your skin. Once it comes off of you, goes in
Bluetooth
after.
trusted devices was a novel idea executed poorly, because if someone steals my phone and the Bluetooth device, that person is me. As far as the device is concerned, that person is me. They have access to everything. Apple Watch isn't like that. It's smarter. The Apple Watch uses Touch ID, something you are, your fingerprint, to authenticate. And it'll stay authenticated as long as it keeps contact with your skin. Once that skin contact is broken, so is the authentication. It'll deauthorize itself, and sure, they'll have a watch and they'll have a phone, but they won't be able to use it. They won't be able to access any of my information.
Yeah, and that's for me. That is the key selling point for me, because of the fact that, you know, in this day and age with identity theft and what have you, you know, people are now putting more information on their phone, you know, through like Square or whatnot and all these different applications, and it houses all your personal information. So what better way to combat that than having a device that completely deauthorizes itself, as we mentioned earlier, and, you know, basically keeps all the information safe. So yeah, I'm definitely all for that. That's
it's a lot smarter.
It's like
better,
it's like in the
more elegant solution.
It's like the step in the direction of true person to device recognition, as it will. Meaning, which you're, again, it's yours. Mine is mine, and his would be his, and it's personal to each person. So that's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I just like the security portion of it, where it just deactivates once it loses contact with your skin. So I think that's pretty cool.
All right, shall we go on to reason number one, the biggest reason?
So reason number one is that, so simply, that it actually does things faster and a lot easier than your actual phone.
And let me elaborate a little bit on this one, because this goes back to the Disney Magic Bands thing. If I'm at the store and I want to pay for something, there's my Apple Watch to pay for it. I don't have to pull a phone out of my pocket. I don't have to pull a wallet out of my pocket. It's right there on my wrist. Convenient. Tap, paid, I'm out. If I'm going on vacation, I can call an Uber on my watch to take me to the airport. Once I get to the airport, I can pull up my plane ticket on my watch. I can check in on my watch. When I get to the hotel, I can check in with my watch. I can use it as my room key. I can completely bypass the front desk. I hate talking to people. You guys know that about me.
I just like the fact that it's kind of inconspicuous, in which people won't really know what you're doing. You know, you kind of feel like a secret agent or something, where you can just, as you're doing things, you know, no one, if someone's looking at you doing it, they don't really know what you're doing exactly. So you can get a lot done just with that small device on your wrist.
It's funny that you said like a secret agent. It reminds me of the post you put out about the Dick Tracy kind of feel of appeal, like a retro 50s look to it. And
it's like Dick Tracy and Inspector Gadget all in one, except not as clumsy.
Right. So what's next?
All right, so prediction time. How many watches do you guys think Apple will sell in the first 3 months, the first quarter?
Well, let's go back to how many phones did they sell every time we had a new release. Like, what was the number in?
They sell a few million per minute.
A few million per minute. So this watch, I think, will be no different. It'll definitely be no different. But are you looking for a specific number in the millions?
Yeah, come on, bro.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, I don't think they're gonna sell the same amount as the phones. I think it'll be a fraction of that. Yeah. Maybe, I know in its whole lifetime, Pebble just recently sold 1 million devices.
Yeah, but
Pebble isn't Apple.
Right. And
so I'm saying 6 million first 3 months. 6 million. All right. You can quote me on that.
All right.
What do you think, George?
I don't know, because I also agree, and a lot of people aren't going to be jumping on this bandwagon as well. So I really don't know an exact number, but I would have to say probably 30% of the actual phones that have been sold. So I mean, I don't.
That's
really know.
bigger than 6 million.
That is bigger than 6 million. I'll go for an even 10.
Even 10?
Why not? An even 10 million.
Okay.
Let's just say.
So I'll say maybe 12 12 million maybe.
So 6, 10, 12.
Yeah.
Cool.
Place your bets.
Awesome. And let's refer back to this video later and see who got it right, who got it the closest, and who's completely wrong.
So what do we win? $50 or something?
How about an Apple Watch?
No, that's too rich.
A little bit too much. All right. That's okay. That's okay. So now, how many do you guys think Apple will sell? Really? Like, and what's your reason for liking and disliking the Apple Watch? Do you feel that it has the potential to change the mobile like we do? Or do you think it's just another smartwatch? Let us know in the comments.
And if you want to see more videos like this, and more tech reviews, unboxings, and more of the most interesting things in tech, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we've got a lot of things coming up in the near future. More Apple Watch coverage, more cool unboxings, a series on functional DIY projects you can make with 3D printing. All right here on Obsessively Geek.
And as always, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you here again soon.
Thanks. Subscribe.
Subscribe.